I'm Barbara Karff, president of DecoratorsBest. Today we're visiting Scalamandre, one of my very favorite fabric houses. We just started a trim section with about 3,000 products, and Ed Goodman here was extremely instrumental in helping me to do that. Scalamandre is very well known for trim, and Ed is the executive vice president, and he calls himself the Tassel-maker of trim.
That's me. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm glad to be here and welcome all of you to the wonderful world of trimmings. I guess I should say I looked up the word trimmings in the dictionary, and it said cords, tassels, fringes, cranberries, stuffing, and everything on a Thanksgiving table. And then I looked up the word passementerie, and it said cords, tassels, and fringes. A rather serious 18th century word, and if you were the Pope, nobility, aristocracy, you would have lots of passementerie in your house, on your clothing, on your windows. And here's a wonderful example of what we call a quatre-fois. Isn't that beautiful?
That's exquisite. That's really beautiful.
So the original was made for Marie Antoinette at Palace de Versailles, and then I made this particular one for Mrs. Vanderbilt's sitting room in her Hyde Park home, probably one of the most elaborate trimming installations we ever did. A flower like this, it's rude to speak about money, however, it will impress you to know that this is about $9,000. And it's that expensive because it's so labor intensive. After all the little florets and everything is done, it takes 1 month to assemble each flower after all the pieces are made. So that's why $9,000, it may impress you, but it's so labor intensive. And several years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I had the privilege of making about $250,000 at cost of these flowers for a home in the Southwest for the lady of the house's dressing room.
Oh.
And when she took her daytime clothes off, an elevator took them up and another elevator brought down her evening clothes. And that kind of decadence is what helps to pay for us speaking today. So another example of passementerie, and I would like to call this very Edwardian, very base fringe, hand woven, of course made out of mulberry silk. Mulberry silk is the finest silk you could buy, and the worms only eat mulberry leaves, nothing else. So in those years when dinner was finished, the gentlemen would go to the library, they would smoke a cigar, and they would have some brandy, and then they possibly cross their legs, and the shoe polish from their shoes would get onto the trim. In those years, the trimming was less expensive than the furniture, and every major home always had a full-time slipcover maker, and so when you were not in residence, the furniture was covered with muslin sheets because it was so expensive. And in this instance, this base fringe could have been taken off, turned around, and put on backwards so you wouldn't see the shoe polish on the other side. And you were preserving the piece of furniture. So if you'd like to see some more examples, Barbara, we could walk over to our boards and show you some very interesting things that we did make. These two trims were made for the White House. This was also woven for the White House in one of the rooms on the lower level. This was the most current tieback that we made, and at one time it had wood mold hangers. Hard to believe that when people would be visiting the White House, as they were walking through the rooms, they removed the mold hangers. So when we remade it this time, Laura Bush and her decorator decided there would be no embellishment on the cut skirt. There's a wonderful tassel that has been used in a presidium in theaters, public, and there is a decadence in this world of people having private theaters on their property. A lot of oil and gas money have had private theaters. Any fringe that is used and you walk in the room and that fringe jumps into your face, it's been poorly done. Everything should blend, it shouldn't stand out.
Oh, Ed, today I can't tell you, I've been here so many times. I must say I'm here probably every week, and I learned something new. I just saw for the first time the White House trims. Perhaps it's my fault, I never asked about them.
No, you're too busy taking care of your customers.
I guess so, but it was just so educational for me to see everything. And I also thank you so much for helping me over the years, and also in helping put our whole collection of trim together for the website.
You don't know it, but I may be having more fun than you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.